Daddy said.
Hey everybody, Matt here. I'm going to be doing my long overdue review of the Jaguar Crossbow. Now I know this is something I got here, it's been almost 2 months since I got it, and I said I was going to be doing a review on it a while back. But I had some issues and I lost my footage of the first time I took it out and shot it. I was using some hay bales and got some good footage of going out and having fun with it. And I left it on the camera and forgot to upload it on my computer, and then when I was doing another video, I erased the footage off my camera, and it was obviously gone. So the footage you saw here at the beginning, the very quick footage you saw here at the beginning of this video, was just me going out this weekend and shooting at a plywood target. Now I'll go into that and get a little more detail into what that was like and the difference between my first time out shooting and this last time I went. But right now I just want to jump into getting the specs and all that good stuff over with. What you're going to use this for, that's going to be up to you. Some people will use this for hunting, some people use it just for having fun, some people will get it for their kids to target practice with. Obviously for you preppers out there, SHTF type stuff, a crossbow or a good bow and arrow obviously has its benefits and its advantages over certain firearms. It's obviously quiet. You know, ammo is not as big of an issue unless of course you shoot into some brush and can't find your bolts or your arrows. So that's pretty much what you're going to be using it for. Your specs on this, it's about 35 inches long, about 27 inches wide right up here at the recurve bow, and about 7 inches tall. Weighs in, I'm thinking right about 5 pounds. It's fairly light. It's got a 175-pound draw. Gets right around 250 to 270 feet per second on your bolts. Obviously that's going to vary depending on what bolts you're using. I've seen anything from online from you know, 210 to 310 feet per second on this thing. We'll stick right around the mid-range there and call it 250 to 270. This thing is aluminum framed. Your stock back here and your grip up front is some sort of synthetic polymer, I believe. It's definitely not just a regular plastic. Has a good feel, good texture, fits good in the hand. As far as your sights go, you're going to have this top Picatinny rail, which is adjustable here for height, which of course obviously your angle is going to give you depending on how far away you're shooting. It is windage adjustable here at the back on your rear notch sight, and up at the front has a little beaded front sight, much like your shotgun. It does automatically, when you load it, when you pull back, It does automatically go into safety, so you have to flip it off every time you're going to shoot, as you do with most crossbows. That's just a safety feature. It does come with a red dot sight, which is pretty much just a cheap piece of crap. I wasn't even going to put it on. Iron sights are more than adequate enough, at least for my experience level. Yeah, the only thing this particular model comes in is going to be this woodland camo look. As far as any types of accessories and things like that, I'll be honest with you, this is my first crossbow, so I have no idea what may or may not be out there. From what I have seen, looking up specifically things for this model, you pretty much get what's in the box, and that's about it. Now, given that it has a Picatinny rail, you could probably put any type of optic you want on here, so that's always a plus. As far as the model goes and the history and the company, when I first did the unboxing, I said that it was a Jaguar Crossbow that was put out by a company called Armex in Europe. And I was wrong on that. I did a little more research. What it is that Jaguar and Armex both are the same crossbow, but the issue is they're not, neither one is the actual company. The company is called Po Lang, and I believe they're out of Taiwan. And they are the largest manufacturer of crossbows in the world outside of the U.S. They manufacture and sell more crossbows than any other company does outside the U.S. So it's their model. Depending on what region they're selling it in, it has a different name. In Europe and the UK, it goes by the Armex. Here in the States, it goes by the Jaguar. So that's where that comes from. As far as how it looks, it's a good looking crossbow. You know, obviously some of the higher end crossbows and some of the ones that Po Lang even sells are going to be compound. This is obviously a recurve. I do not have enough experience to know if one is better than the other. All I can tell you is that some of the higher end bows are usually compound bows and not recurve. I will tell you that once you get used to it, the draw on this, pulling back for a 175 pound draw is not as bad as it seems. You do it a couple times and it really isn't that bad. The first time I pulled it back, I was like, damn, this is going to be something. But yeah, you get used to it pretty quick. It's not a very big deal. Price range on this, I've seen them for as low as like $169.99 and up to $219.99. I would say if you stick right around the $200 range, you're going to be getting a good deal. My shooting experience with them, my first time out was very good. I was shooting at hay bales between 20 and 40 yards, having a lot of fun. The thing was more than accurate enough that if I had wanted to hunt with it or whatever, I would have easily been able to you know, hit a deer or something within that range. Would that I had gotten close enough to the deer to hit it at that range without the damn thing spooking and running off. But so it is fairly accurate. Now, that was the footage that you didn't get to see because I lost. The footage that you did see at the beginning was me shooting from about between 25 and 40 yards. I shot at two different areas. The first was about 40 yards and the second was at about 25 yards. You saw me shooting at a half-inch thick chunk of plywood. Now, I will tell you this. That was not as much fun. Reason being is because at about 40 yards, the bolts do not have enough force left in them at that range to go through a half-inch thick chunk of plywood. So what happens is, I don't know if you can see that, is that thing bent when it hit, and it barely stuck in, just the very tip stuck into the plywood, and then it bent. Okay, these are aluminum. Okay, it just bent the arrow up, or bent the bolt up, pretty good. It's you know, it's unusable. So I got a little closer and got to 25 yards. Now 25 yards, the bolts did not bend. They went straight through half-inch plywood, which tells me that these damn things, that this bow has more than enough force to you know, put down a deer or whatever it may need to put down. It went straight through the plywood. They would have gone all the way through the plywood had the feathers at the end not stopped them. But this is what happened to the feathers once they hit the plywood. they got completely jacked up. So I completely screwed up the other 4 bolts, the other 3 bolts I had. So I managed to screw up all 4 bolts that come with this thing. And my conclusions are this. One, first of all, go get yourself some carbon fiber bolts, not these aluminum ones, because you won't have that bending issue. Okay? If you do manage to stub a tree or something or whatever, instead of hit your target, you're not going to bend your bolts like that with a carbon fiber like these aluminum ones do. Second of all, these things are not meant to shoot at extremely hard surfaces and hard targets. They are meant to shoot at flesh, quite honestly. I mean, let's be honest here. Or at soft targets like hay bales and things like that where you can do your target practice. Do not you pick one of these up and do what I did and go start shooting a half-inch chunk of plywood, because when you get close enough that it'll actually go through. And like I said, this thing has more than enough power, man. This thing went through a half-inch chunk of plywood. I have no doubt that if I were to shoot one of these at a deer, it'd go straight down through the son of a bitch, unless it hit a bone or something, because it powered through that plywood like a motherfucker. And you saw that at the beginning. But it does screw up your feathers here, your fins, whatever you call those things. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this stuff, so that's just a warning to everybody. I'm going to go pick up some 20-inch carbon fibers, and I'll try and get some more video up. But anyway, that's it. That's my review. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, overall, I'm very pleased with it. I made some mistakes that caused some problems with the arrows. Obviously, the arrows are not as high quality as you can get for them, but I hold full responsibility for screwing these damn things up. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Overall, it's a lot of fun if you're just getting into it, to crossbows and archery and things like that, like I am. It's something so far that I can recommend. The crossbow itself seems to have quite a bit of power and is pretty damn accurate. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you later.